So it's really the important underlying driver of chronic diseases of aging. You restore function, you kind of release the new cells to go back doing what we're doing, stem cells to go back doing what we're doing, which is regenerating the tissue. You can visualize and see the effects on the skin.
Rubedo Life Sciences CEO Marco Quarta. Thank you for being here. There are so many companies working on senescent cells, and your target is very special, and your active ingredient RLS1496 as well, very special. Please explain to our audience, they are not biologists and not molecular biologists. What you are doing?
Yeah, like you said, we focus on a fundamental problem in biology, which is cellular senescence. Right? And in lay terms, cellular senescence is really the result of stress and damage to our cells, healthy cells. That in response, they become senescent cells. So they stop dividing and they release factors that they call immune cells. So it's a good thing. They're telling there's something wrong with me, come and get rid of me. But with aging and with disease, those senescent cells, they somehow can escape this immune surveillance and they start to build up in our tissues. And now instead with these factors that they secrete, they become pathologic. And immune cells, they sort of lose control, and the result is that we build this chronic inflammation over time.
And which age-related diseases are connected with that?
I think the list is over 40 now, because chronic inflammation is really the underlying requirements for many progressive degenerative diseases of the brain, of the skin, of the lung, of the muscle, metabolic syndromes like diabetes, cardiovascular, neurodegenerative, fibrosis. So it's really the important underlying driver of chronic diseases of aging. And we're talking about biological aging here, not chronological aging, right? These are typically a problem of the elderly, but you can be prematurely aged for a number of reasons. The skin can become aged because it gets too much sun. If you're a smoker or if you had a severe case of COVID-19, they all drive senescence in your lungs, and therefore you develop lung diseases 10, 20 years sooner because you're biologically older in that tissue. So that's important that what happens if you remove those senescent cells artificially, like pharmacologically, like we're doing, you restore function, you kind of release the new cells to go back doing what we're doing, stem cells to go back doing what we're doing, which is regenerating the tissue. Now, the problem is senescent cells are not all equal. Right? They're not all the same. The one on the skin or the lung or the brain in different diseases could be different. And that's what we do. Right? We build the tools to our platform, leveraging artificial intelligence, genomics at single-cell level, to discover those senescent cells, pretty much fish in the right pond, find the right cells, the right target, and then translating this into chemistry. So we can build molecules that can very selectively find and target the pathologic cells involved in different diseases. So it's not the senescent cells are all the same, right? It's magic panacea. And it's like, I always make an example, it's like the oncology space. Right? How many therapies we had in cancer? Many. Can we treat cancer? Can we cure cancers? Yes. Now we know we can. And cellular senescence is just a new emerging field. So we will see more and more therapies and application. That's why there are really many companies doing that. Our focus is to find and make different medicines that have different application to treat disease of the skin, of the lung, of the brain, and eventually maybe systemically the whole body. So RLS1496 is the first of many drugs that we're doing, is the first that is entering the clinic this year, and is to treat skin conditions. So chronic inflammatory skin conditions, situation where there are skin lesions that don't heal. In chronic dermatitis, chronic psoriasis, just to name a few. conditions that are generally aggravated in the elderly. But as I said, it can happen sooner in life, maybe because your skin aged due to too much sun and radiation or chemicals, pollutions. So,
how did you find this RLS 1496? We have a machine, Alembic system, drug discovery. How do you discover this?
Yeah, that's really our, let's say, discovery engine in the company. And to really build a team that on one side we have seasoned experienced drug hunters, people that came from pharma, biotech, that have done drugs many times successfully. So we wanted to make sure that we could do that. But we also need this expertise in technology. Like our CTO comes from big tech of the Silicon Valley. Actually, it was a leading software engineer at Facebook. But he brought this unique expertise to build novel tools from scratch, exactly to discover the cells. So what we call Alembic, which, like the name of the company Rubedo, comes from alchemy. Right? They both comes from that. And maybe just to say, Rubedo in alchemy is the last phase of the operation to realize the elixir of long life. So the medicine that cures all diseases. Right? And that's kind of the idea. And Alembic is the apparatus to make the medicine. And for us is the platform to discover those cells, which is also an acronym, which means Algorithms for Life Extending Medicine in Chemistry, Informatics, and Biology.
Okay.
Because that's what we do. So how did we discover? Well, we start with clinical samples. So for the skin, we started with punch biopsies of skin lesions of patients with different conditions, with these chronic lesions of dermatitis or psoriasis, rosacea, vitiligo. What they have in common is they all have chronic inflammation. So those lesions don't resolve. And so we wonder, are there some type of senescent cells there? So we did biopsies. We generated single-cell multi-omics data. So looking at how many genes are expression, proteins, all the changes that happens. And that was a lot of data. And that's where we applied artificial intelligence in many ways. So we can kind of make sense and triangulate among all this data to pinpoint and spot if and what senescent cells are there. And the next step is, okay, now we know which cells may be involved. What are the vulnerabilities? What are targets that we can leverage? And then we move to the next step and let's design molecules that can, leveraging these vulnerabilities, can find and kill those senescent cells, but not the good cells. And so that's how we did. And we ended up with RLS 1496. And in this program, like we are doing the same approach for targeting the lung or the liver and other tissues.
And women and men elder than 40 can use it because we have all senescent cells in our skin. And Beiersdorf is now working together with you to develop a cream. It's a cream against aging, but not a medical one.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it, right? The ultimate goal and aspirational goal of the company, of Rubedo, is to make medicine to extend health span. So to slow down aging, biological aging, and to keep our tissues and organs healthy over time. So while we want to prove medically, clinically, that RLS 1496 can work by showing an effect on a diseased skin, the excitement part that you can do the same on a healthy skin that is aging or losing function. And that's where the skincare and cosmetic angle comes from. So we're very excited that we announced this strategic partnership with Beiersdorf to develop, yes, the first actually real anti-aging rejuvenative skin that can keep your skin healthy and good looking for longer over time, which will be going back to what we are focusing on therapeutics, but showing evidence in a consumer product market on a healthy skin in a way, which is aligned with this idea. Are we actually rejuvenating the tissue it could be the first time in cosmetics that it's not, purely marketing, but is actually happening. Is you can visualize and seeing the effects on the skin. That's the hope.
And that's practical. Wonderful. Thank you, Rubedo.
Thank you so much.